Okay, welcome to what I believe is part 4 of the Game Ground commentary. I cannot tell you for sure because I'm watching the Tony Awards right as I'm saying this. But we're in the street. We are going through a city filled with army soldiers. And for what reason better than to take over the city? By the way, you don't want to go into those cars up there because those cars will kill you in one hit. In fact, everything kills you in one hit in this game, so what's the point of saying they kill you in one hit? Everything's out to kill you in this game. You know something? I honestly hate that you actually can, die from just even touching the enemy. You know, touch damage is a thing that really needs to go. Like, for example, suppose I touch you, right? And then you lose, a few health points here or there, and I didn't even, use a weapon on you or anything. Imagine that. And you take damage just because I touched you. Don't you think that's a bit odd? Don't you think that's a bit insane? Ugh. I honestly wish somebody would get rid of touch damage. You know, one day touch damage is gonna be a thing of the past. You know, I bet if touch damage didn't exist, it probably would have made Ghosts and Goblins easier. Yes, I'm gonna make the obvious reference to Ghosts and Goblins here, because Ghosts and Goblins is actually a good game. It's just that people ridicule it for being too hard, because touch damage exists. And that's self-explanatory. The Mario series is another one. 9-7. 9-7. I'm not gonna say anything else. 9-7. But nevertheless... Again, more the same fish. You're not really doing anything else. You're just avoiding people with bombs and guns, and that's pretty much it for round 4. At least we have to avoid cars this time around. At least that gives us a bit of a better challenge, I guess. You know, I like challenges. And holy crap, is this the arcade? Yep. It's the arcade, alright. And also, if you're paying attention, some of these arcade machines are actually references to other machines that were released in Japan. I honestly can't tell which games they are, but they remind you of games that were possibly released in Japan. There's even a boat racing game, which back then 3D wasn't all that popular. 3D is a good thing to have. And Gilius Thunderhead is a good character to have for the stage. Because, I mean, look at this. You can easily shoot spears over the arcade machines, and they can't even launch an attack on you. Because no matter what, no matter how far they shoot, their bullets can't go through arcade machines. Yeah. And that's something that this game got right. If bullets are able to go through walls in this game, then I would actually question why. Why would you put bullets that go through walls in this game? Are you trying to make it Mega Man style? Well, luckily they didn't make it that way. Oh yeah, and speaking of Gauntlet, because again, I've been heard that it's been thrown around that this is a rip-off of Gauntlet, and no, that's a dead straight lie. Gauntlet 4 was released for the Genesis, and Gauntlet 4 is not one of the popular titles as far as I'm aware. So we do in fact have a Gauntlet game on the Genesis. So the question is, why do you think that Sega's ripping off Midway when Midway made a game on here anyways? It makes no sense to me, and it utterly ticks the crap out of me at the same time. Now, this particular stage, what is this, round 35? Stage 35, sorry. Stage 35 is probably one of the more annoying ones. You do need a fast character. You strictly do need a fast character for this stage, so I'm going to stick with Gilius Thunderhead. And honestly, like how the cars keep changing as it keeps going back and forth. But yeah, you have to avoid that car. And don't worry, I mean, I know like on your first try you might get killed by accident or something at this particular point in the game. Because I know that getting killed by a car is pretty much imminent in any Sega game. Well, excluding the Sonic series, because I don't think that there are any car enemies. Not to Not to my memory, anyways. If I'm wrong about that, I'll correct myself in a later video. And as I say this, I'm gonna hear Moto Bug is gonna be brought up a lot of times. Oh god. But you know, it's just more the same fish. Avoiding bullets, avoiding cars. It's your average, typical overhead shooter. Also, I do question, why do they have a G? I mean, I know it stands for gain ground over where the character is, but why does it have to be the G? You could have actually said gain ground or something on it, but why'd you have to use the G? The G's just there for no reason. It's as if they are calling you a G, which, if I'm not mistaken, the term G, according to Massachusetts gangster slang, means gigolo. And apparently, as far as I know, I am not a gigolo. Yes, I'm not a guy that has sex with a whole bunch of women. Do you think I'm that kind of a person? No way. I mean, okay, I'm a very romantic person when the time comes, but no, I don't try to have sex with everybody. I'm not that kind of a guy. And if you think I'm that kind of a guy, well, you're a pussycat for thinking so. Yes, you are a pussycat for thinking so. Do not think of me negatively. I'm a very lovable person. Happy face. Okay, which character do I use here? Ah, yes. I decided to use the character that spams bullets, and for good reason. Because right there at the beginning, do you think I was honestly gonna survive that wave of enemies? I don't think I would have survived using Gilius Thunderhead or anybody else. You need to have the bullet spammers. And also, you'll see it comes in handy right here when I pass by the vehicles and try to avoid the bombs as good as I can. Hopefully I don't die. Or hopefully the gun spammer doesn't die. Because, you know, dying in video games is not good. It's never cool to die in video games. Well, except for Cubert, because Cubert is easy to die in. Or Pac-Man. Pac-Man's easy to die in too. But, you know, it's good. By the way, I think these conveyor belts are one-way conveyor belts, so you do want to kill these enemies as early as you want, like as early as possible. You don't want to miss out on killing any possible enemy that you could have destroyed. And for good reason too. Because once you get here, you're going to be spammed with lots of enemy attacks. At least you can walk back on these conveyor belts, but it's pretty dang stiff. The only thing that's not stiff when you're walking down these conveyor belts is actually when you're going diagonally. Yeah, apparently side movement isn't stiff, but walking backwards or whatever else is stiff. Oh boy. And still these enemies go down pretty pathetically, especially with the Gilius Thunderhead character. I mean, come on. Who else but I would have thought to kill my enemies with spears and bows and arrows? It's a Ghosts and Goblins game waiting to happen. No, not really. If it was a Ghosts and Goblins game waiting to happen, I think we would have heard the Ghosts and Goblins theme by now. But you know, I might do some really bad acapella on it. I might do that soon enough. And as I say this, I'm sure that Ted, somewhere in this room, gonna be making a remake of the Ghosts and Goblins. Not Ghosts and Goblins, because he already did it, but possibly the Ghouls and Ghosts Stage 1 theme. And you know, I'm cool with that. I'll be doing my own really bad acapella soon enough. I don't know when, because I'm not lazy, I just don't like to do things at fixed times. I like to do my projects whenever, you know? Doing projects whenever is good. And that's how I roll. I roll the way that not many people would like to roll. And as I say that, I'm sure a lot of people will think that I do drug rolling, which no, I don't. I don't do drugs. I might sound high, but no, I don't do drugs. I'm just tired. I'm not even tired. It's 10:55 and I've got finals in the morning. This recording is on Sunday, 10 June of 2010. 12. Oh god. But you know. And funny enough, as I'm watching this Tony Award stuff, I question, why are there so many British people, getting awards? I don't know, are the British making a comeback this year? What's up? By the way, if you didn't figure out what I'm doing here, I decided to use Fireball Man, I'm gonna call him Fireball Man for the rest of this playthrough, in order to destroy those enemies so that I could kill the tank with the greatest of ease. And trust me, when I did my original run of this game, like during rehearsals, I always lost this guy. Because the tank and the bullets go faster than he does. And his speed is very slim and short. There's no way you can possibly avoid these bullets without any kind of possible, timing, you know? But that's the end of round 4, and please, for the love of God, don't think I'm high. I'm not high, you know. And holy crap, I never actually explained why I don't swear. But I might as well explain it now, because I said I'd be explaining it in part 4. Basically, the reason why is because, I honestly just don't like swearing at all. I just find it to be horrible. I mean, when it comes to Clement swearing or Brain Scratch swearing, I mean, that I can forgive. When some of my friends swear, I'm like, you know, I'm okay with that. It's all good. It's all good. I know that you guys like to swear, and it's okay with you with all the fishing and the ducking and the sucking and whatever else comes into mind. Oh, God. But yeah. And Andrew McDonald won a Tony Award for First as a Leading Actress. Fun stuff, you know? It's all good in this neighborhood. But nevertheless, we shall finish up this game in part 5. See you then.